Well, hello folks, Uncle Roddus here again. Time for another episode of random shelf picks from my CD collection, and got the wife to pick out another 10 CDs from my collection for this week's listening pleasure. So we'll get straight into it. First up we have Mr. Johnny Cash. This is Unchained from the American Recordings series, and I don't think it was the first one. No, it's about the second or third one. It doesn't actually say on here which volume it is, but there's some really cool. These are fantastic. These are fantastic recordings. So Johnny Cash, American Recordings. Can't go wrong. First one was recorded in 1993, this was 1996, and he made 5 volumes, one which was released after he died. I think around 2003 he died. There was one released a couple or 3 years later. Yeah, highly recommended, and even if you're not a Johnny Cash fan. Okay, next up we have Afro Funk compilation Nigeria 70 off Strut Records. This was released in 2011. You probably can't read that. This is so yeah, Nigeria, these ones. Afro Funk, High Life and Juju from 1970s Lagos. Really awesome collections. These I've got quite a lot of these actually. And it appears that Mrs. Roddus has been a little bit slack in her CD pulling, and has pulled another CD out of pretty much the same area. This one here, Ghana Sounds. So it's a similar thing. This is a Soundway compilation. This is from 2004. Yeah, 2004. Printing on these is so small I can't even read these with my reading glasses, some of it. So this is from Ghana, of course. This is the second volume. I've never been able to get hold of the first volume. It went out of print, but again, highly recommended. Ebo Taylor is a standout off this. He's got a couple of tracks on it, and K Frimpong, The Upsetters, Uppers Chapter, and a lot of other names who I can't pronounce, of course. There's some, but there is these just fantastic compilations, and Soundways and Strut Records have done an amazing job compiling these CDs, and I just can't recommend them highly enough. So Mr. Hendrix again. This is the Live at Woodstock. So this is a 2 CD compilation. Again, these are from the Experience Hendrix reissue CDs from, when was it, 1999, this one. So this was when Jimmy's estate was reissuing these. So this is pretty much the full gig from Woodstock 1969. Pretty cool. And as I said, the missus was getting a little bit lazy, and she's actually picked out another Hendrix, so from a similar place on the shelf. So Voodoo Soup, this one, compilation, 1995 Polygram Records. I mean, you can't go wrong with Hendrix. So looking forward to having another listen to that. So okay, so she has finally gone over to the other side of the shelving. We have some Philip Glass here. This is Symphony number 3 and Symphony number 2. This was released in 2004, Nexus. Philip Glass is a minimalist composer who I've got a lot of his earlier stuff, or I've got all his major works from his earlier in his career, including Music in 12 Parts and Einstein on the Beach. I'm not particularly familiar with this one actually, to be honest. so it'd be good to give that a spin. And she has picked out something from the John Zorn collection. This is the second, the Hermetic Organ. Yeah, this is the first volume. Yeah, I think it's the very first volume. So Hermetic Organ. This is John Zorn, let loose on a church organ, recorded St. Paul's Chapel in New York City, 2014. So probably recorded prior to that. So apparently John he was quite fascinated with the organ, especially when he was younger, and especially in some of the old horror movies, I think he mentioned. So he got to let loose on one of these, and there's actually 3 volumes of this now. Not the best stuff he's done, to be honest. John Coltrane, my favourite things. This is pretty cool. This is a classic. Atlantic Records. Yep, that's cool. And then for something completely different, the Gorillas, Demon Days. This is from 2005. I think I've got a couple of these CDs. Haven't listened to this for quite a while. There's a guy the guy that runs this group. He was in some other group now, and for the life of me, I can't think who it was. And I'm not going to go through the full print to find out. Anyway, but that's. And then she's picked out another compilation. Last one. This is a blues compilation, and it's Alligator Records. So Alligator Records put out. Well, they're a specialist blues label, for those who don't know, and they put out quite a lot of these compilations. They're just budget compilations, so they have a little bit of a theme. This one's live, Crucial Live Blues, so they've got all live recordings, and just picked from their thing. But they have people like James Cotton, Luther Allison, Coco Taylor, Hound Dog Taylor, which would probably be one of the earliest ones. This was a collection from 2004. So there's some pretty cool blues on here. I like Alligator Records. They do some pretty good blues, and especially Hound Dog Taylor. I love Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers from the early 70s, which is the band that actually prompted the fella Chris Schwartz, I think his name was, to start Alligator Records so that he could record Hound Dog Taylor. And their very first album that they put out on Alligator was the Hound Dog Taylor record. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So that is my pile for the week, and yeah, I look forward to listening to those. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.